Good afternoon. My name is Marie Corfield. I am a teacher in the Flemington-Raritan School District, and I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today. As doctors take the Hippocratic Oath to first do no harm, educators have an obligation to do no harm to students by teaching and assessing based on research-based and peer-reviewed best practice. The PARCC test does not make the cut. Every good educator begins a lesson by asking themselves, why is this important for students to learn? The same must be asked of the PARCC. Why is it important for students to take this test? Supporters of the PARCC, including the New Jersey Department of Education, say it's a diagnostic tool. Commissioner Hespy claims teachers will be able to pinpoint exact areas in which students need more help and support, but that is simply not true, and the DOE knows it. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much wrong, not only with this test, but with everything else this department is forcing on educators, students, and parents, that I've compiled a top 10 list of things this board should consider very seriously and question. Number 1, the test is not diagnostic. In order for any test to accomplish this, it must have at least 25 questions per assessed skill. The PARCC does not. Barry Ehrlichson admitted this last year in a panel discussion on the PARCC. The video is out there on YouTube. 2, the PARCC does not consistently assess grade level skills. Rider University professor and nationally recognized reading expert Russ Walsh analyzed some of the sample language arts questions and found many of them to be several grade levels above the tested grade. This is not only unfair to both students and teachers, it is also demoralizing to students. How can anyone be expected to succeed at something when the odds are heavily stacked against them from the start? 3, research has shown that student-designed projects and research are far more effective and meaningful ways for both teachers and students to assess deep learning and understanding. Standardized tests in general are meant to show trends, and as such, PARCC falls far short on the assessment continuum. 4, the American Statistical Association has warned that standardized tests should not be used to assess educator effectiveness because the methods being used are simply not reliable. And with the enormous emphasis now put on data in teaching, teachers should not be evaluated based on flawed tests that provide flawed data. 5, out of the 24 states originally in the PARCC consortium, there will now be 6, plus the District of Columbia, participating in the 2016-17 testing. If this test is as magical as Commissioner Hespy says, why are states fleeing in droves? 6, PARCC is not a reliable predictor of college and career readiness. Research has shown that high school GPAs are the most reliable predictor of college success. Yet all across this state and country, related arts classes are being scaled back or eliminated to make way for more Common Core study and PARCC prep. 7, a recently released study published in the School Superintendent Association's Journal of Scholarship and Practice concluded that a higher percentage of the 2009 New Jersey high school core curriculum content standards in English, language arts, and math prompted higher order thinking than the 2010 Common Core state standards for those same subjects and grade levels. We are dumbing down our students. 8, the amount of testing students will be subjected to, starting with the graduating class of 2020, is not only against current law, it's just plain cruel. Starting with this class, in order to graduate high school, students will have to take and fail the PARCC, not once, not twice, but 3 times before any real assessment of their academic progress can be used. What educator in their right mind thinks this is best practice? 9, there's a big problem with scoring. Officials from PARCC have admitted there are discrepancies in scores between students who took paper and pencil tests versus those who took the test online, with the former group scoring on average higher than the latter. This is nuts. 10, the fact that the study commission failed to honor and recognize the hundreds of people who testified against this test and instead recommended a marketing campaign to brainwash parents into thinking this test will solve all the world's problems is proof that this department does not have a clue as to what it's doing. If this test cannot stand on its own merit, then it should be thrown out. Contrary to what some say, the opt-out movement was not started by teachers' unions. It's a nationwide grassroots movement started by parents, some of whom are here today. Last year, in our state's first PARCC testing year, over 100,000 students refused the test. That number is second only to New York State, which had approximately 200,000 students refuse. Unfortunately, these are anecdotal numbers compiled by doing a lot of research on the DOE's own website because the DOE either cannot or will not release the actual numbers. Every parent must make their own informed decisions regarding the park and what's best for their child. No one in this building has the right to force parents and students into doing something that is educationally unsound, unproven, and just plain wrong. This board can make a difference. This board can vote down many things that are put before you. This board can start to turn the tide away from this madness and let us get back to real teaching and learning. The question is, will you? Thank you.